In today's video, we move across the front lines from the defenders of Toretsk holding under relentless pressure to drone operators shaping the battle from above and pilots striking deep behind enemy lines. The war isn't pausing anytime soon and new battles are erupting daily. Let's take a look. The mission begins with a Ukrainian soldier from the INA battalion of the Assault Police Brigade, tasked with the defense of Toretsk. His unit operates largely alone in the sector, holding a thin defensive line with what they have: a T-4 launchers, rifles, and determination. Across the ruined streets, a few Russian troops have been spotted occupying a tall apartment building. There's no sign of armored vehicles nearby, but that doesn't stop the Ukrainians. They shoulder their AT-4s and unleash a series of rockets at the upper floors, turning the structure into a cloud of concrete and dust. One right after the other, they just keep pounding that building with rocket launchers. You have to feel bad for the guys on the receiving end of that. Must be pure hell. Now he's moving to the window to get a better view and more cover before he lays down some more fire. Thought they were out of rockets? No, they have more. After the barrage, the unit advances cautiously toward the smoking building to assess the aftermath. Among the debris, they find a surviving Russian soldier, disoriented and wounded. The Ukrainians move in, disarm him, and take him prisoner, ending the skirmish on their terms. Later on this day, a Russian drone operator spotted a lone Ukrainian soldier taking cover beneath a large water tank. The drone descended for an FPV strike. The pilot lined up perfectly, and for a second it seemed certain the blast would end his life. But luck or perhaps something greater intervened. The drone slammed into the tank and failed to detonate. The soldier froze for a moment, then crawled away, alive and shaken but unharmed. On the other hand, not everyone is as fortunate. A lone Russian soldier is spotted walking the front lines, unaware that a Ukrainian FPV drone is already closing in. Within seconds, it locks on and dives. This time, the strike hits true. The explosion marks the end of his path. Many more are spotted nearby and dealt with. Moments later, the Russians retaliate with their own drones. You can see here a Russian UAV performs a VOG grenade airdrop on a small boat carrying 2 Ukrainian servicemen. The grenade falls perfectly, detonating on impact and sending water and debris into the air. Meanwhile, Ukrainian drone operations continue to wreak havoc on Russian logistics and infrastructure deep behind the front lines. Repeated strikes are tearing through fuel depots, ammunition storage sites, and transport convoys, creating major disruptions in the Russians to move supplies and reinforcements forward. Every successful hit further strains their supply chain, forcing Russian units to operate with fewer resources and longer response times. If Ukraine can maintain this tempo and precision, it could become the biggest thorn in Russia's side, opening real opportunities for counteroffensives and potentially pushing Russian forces back along multiple sectors of the front. The Ukrainian drones are targeting areas near Dagestan. To protect the oil refinery, local authorities in Dagestan have installed a small-caliber air defense and electronic warfare system in the city of Makhachkala. But this is resulting in some problems. This led to at least one Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicle crashing into a civilian building. Also up in the air, Ukrainian MiG-29 fighters join the fight, unleashing AGM-88 HARM missiles toward Russian positions. The missiles streak across the sky, likely targeting enemy radar installations or surface-to-air missile sites, clearing the way for Ukrainian drones and strike aircraft operating closer to the front. Now back on the front lines, Russian assault units stormed a Ukrainian position earlier today, overrunning part of the trench line and taking several Ukrainian soldiers captive. The attack was fast and coordinated, supported by small arms fire and drones that monitored the area from above. However, the situation quickly turned when Ukrainian forces regrouped and launched a counterattack. Moving under covering fire, they retook the captured dugout, eliminated the Russian troops inside, and successfully freed their comrades. The position was fully cleared shortly after, restoring Ukrainian control of that section of the front. But not everything goes to plan for the Ukrainians. As their squad moves cautiously between shattered houses, a Russian FPV drone spots them from above. The same thing happens here when another Russian drone spots Ukrainian infantry moving along the battlefield. Once the soldiers realize they've been spotted, they take cover inside this building. But the drone is easily able to maneuver through these obstacles and level the place from the inside, leaving no survivors. Nearby, Russian forces struck a civilian using a drone, leaving them severely wounded. Ukrainian troops operating a Max Pro MRAP in the area were immediately redirected from their patrol to conduct an emergency evacuation while under fire from nearby Russian forces. Despite incoming fire and ongoing drone activity overhead, the crew maneuvered through damaged streets to reach the injured civilian and successfully got them aboard and back to HQ. In this outstanding footage, Ukrainians have begun using robots or remotely controlled robot vehicles that can go and rescue soldiers in dangerous combat zones. There's enough armor circling the passenger to keep them safe all the way back home. Russian soldiers heading off for an assault in their modified light civilian vehicles. Miles away, Russian forces deployed smoke grenades to hide their advance and block Ukrainian visibility. The cover worked until it didn't. The thick smoke blinded the attackers too, and their motorcycle assault team crashed into a burned-out car on the road, losing momentum and surprise in an instant. The Russians were in the middle of having a military ceremony in the frontline trenches, only to be interrupted by a bomb or drone that spotted them. Massive Russian assault crushed near Melitokmashka on the Orekhiv front. Around 2 companies from the 71st Motor Rifle Regiment advanced with approximately 26 vehicles, including tanks, BMPs, BTRs, and Tigers. By 2000 hours, Ukrainian forces had destroyed 2 tanks, 12 BMPs, 6 BTRs, and 2 Tiger vehicles. Later during the night, a Ukrainian scores a home run, taking out a Russian APC with a javelin from his concealed position. Morale among many Russian units is hitting rock bottom. These next videos show just how deep the problems go: corruption, neglect, and sheer disregard for the soldiers on the ground. Commanders hoard supplies, abandon their men, and send them into battles they're not prepared for. The footage speaks for itself, revealing the growing disconnect between frontline troops and their leadership. These guys were caught stealing fuel and their commanders caught them.
Чё нахуй? Чё, блядь? Подразделение, блядь.
These guys lost their vehicles and were tied up and left to die. That's all for today's update. If you found this coverage useful, consider subscribing or sharing to help more people see what's really happening on the ground. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next report.